the writing's on the wall, y'all. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you know there's mass layoffs happening like repeatedly over and over again. And some companies. What's up, you guys? How are you all doing? What's up? What's up? So let's talk about something. I know I've been on this thing because I'm just so, I want there to be a solution. So we're going to talk about what the problem of being over 40, being an older professional in a time of recession. Now, we know there's no official recession being announced here in the United States. However, the writing is on the wall. Like, it's the writing's on the wall, y'all. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you know there's mass layoffs happening like repeatedly over and over again. And some companies are doing several, not layers, but several periods of layoffs. However, I'm trying to say that, but you know, where they're doing layoffs, and then maybe about 6 months go by, and then they do another mass layoff, and that's happening repeatedly. And people are having trouble trying to buy a home. People are having struggles with keeping groceries in the house. The price of groceries have skyrocketed. And I think there's an overall sentiment that right now the economy is very trying. Now, I know I remember hearing someone say, oh, there's always some economic worries or whatever. Not always. Now, there's always some little concern or something that people are discussing about a possible economic downturn. I've heard that for like the last 20 years. But as far as there actively being economic challenges, that is currently going on. And I think I bring up the point of discussing people who are over 40 because I feel like I feel like in a sense we have the most to lose, because typically with us, we're at a point where it's really hard to reskill. We're typically at a point where we have mortgages. We are taking care of family members, whether it's adult kids. I know you should just throw them out there into the wolves. I know. But a lot of times it's what we're doing, or we're taking care of aging parents. And so I feel like being a person that's over 40, these things can hit you the hardest. And on top of that, when you get over 40, you start needing to pay a little bit more attention to your health care. Well, in a bad economic downturn, you can't rely on the ability to be able to take care of your health to the best of its ability. One, you have stress. Two, you have increasing healthcare costs, increasing costs and medications. And that's if you have a job that even will subsidize your healthcare. So we have all of these things that happen when you're over 40. And a recession is particularly trying for people who are older professionals. So I did a little bit of research and looked around the interwebs and decided that I'm going to go over a couple of statistics with you guys. One of those statistics, let's see here, is during the 2008, they're calling it the Great Recession. Mid-career professionals aged 35 to 54 experienced a 9.5% drop in employment, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. A 2020 Harvard Business Review study found that mid-career workers were 20% more likely to be laid off than younger workers during the C word 19 recession that happened. And what they also found was mid-career professionals were also suffered longer unemployment durations. And I know this to be true because I have people that I'm familiar with that are experiencing this, that are older professionals. This statistic is mid-career workers tend to remain unemployed 30 to 50% longer than younger workers after a layoff, according to the Urban Institute. And you all, we've talked about a lot of age discrimination here on this channel and how that plays into finding work, even keeping work, maintaining the current job that you're at, no matter how hard you've worked there, no matter how much you've helped the company or contributed to the success of the company, you're more likely to be laid off than someone younger than you. And then that's according to the Urban Institute. The next thing is their reemployment rate within 12 months can drop to around 60% compared to over 70% for younger workers. So I don't understand that one. So they're basically saying if you're more likely to get reemployment within 12 months can drop. Okay, so only about 60% find their jobs again versus 70% of younger workers. Okay, so that goes back to that 9.5% difference that we mentioned earlier in the statistics. Another concern for 40-year-olds during a recession and the need to consider reskilling in some way or another is that there's a lot coming out now with automation and restructuring. So this is another statistics that says recessions often accelerate digital transformation and automation, which disproportionately affect roles held by mid-career managers and specialists. Yeah, because companies are always wanting to cut the fat. And even if the fat is really an essential employee at the company, they're still trying to figure out how to cut them needing them there. So that I see that happens a lot. I've seen that over many years that's how things play out. And they said there's a 2020 McKinsey study estimated that up to 25% of mid-level jobs could be permanently altered or eliminated by post-recession structural shifts. And that is true. We see there's a great push right now. AI is like the new thing. I'm sure you all have not been able to turn on any type of YouTube video or news thing and hear something about AI being mentioned. And the problem with AI, let's figure out how AI can help us, but no one's talking about what is everyone else going to do. And this is the thing that I kind of think doesn't make sense to me. You want a company that's successful and profitable, but some of these companies, it's like you need people to buy your products in order for your company to be successful and profitable. So it's like if everybody's gotten fired or laid off from these jobs and doesn't have any money, who's going to buy your products? So it's like, let's get this push to AI, automate. And no one's discussing what are we going to do with the workers who are being laid off or fired, because the workers that are being displaced, I guess that's the best way to say it. The workers that are being displaced because of AI, what are we going to do with these people? It's the weirdest thing that isn't considered. Like, once this happens and this company is going towards being profitable, well, now who do you have left to buy your products if everyone is out of work? Anyway, I think I'm screaming into the wind with that one. The next statistic was a promotion slowdown. There's a lot when it comes to recession. Yeah, of course, during the recession, they don't want to promote people. So if you've come into this company and you're expecting to at some point get a promotion because of your blood, sweat, and tears that you put into this company, well, when the recession comes, then yeah, there's probably not going to be a promotion for anyone, or you'll be promoted. You'll be given a bunch of extra work for the exact same pay. There'll be a little quiet promotion. So it says during recessions, internal mobility freezes. Promotion rates for mid-career employees drop by 25 to 30% per LinkedIn economic graph data. So those are some, I'm just trying to think of the most important things here. So let's go into a little research about how does being in your mid-career, being an older professional, how does that make you more vulnerable? So one of the ways is that higher salaries make you a more likely target for cost cutting. We discussed that. A lot of times people who are in their mid-career or older professionals, they're less flexible. And the reason for that could be like you got a mortgage on a house. You may have kids that are still in school. Sometimes you could be mid-career and you still have school-age kids. You may be looking after an aging parent. So they're citing that a lot of times being an older professional, one of your vulnerabilities is that you may be less willing to relocate versus a younger individual. So, I mean, and that's concerns and considerations there. They also say that age discrimination, implicit or explicit, becomes more pronounced in tight job markets. Yeah, because I've noticed a lot of people have been saying with like the job interviews going, they got 6 and 7 rounds of interviews. I'm like, I'm not playing with y'all. After the second interview, y'all need to figure something out because I'm not about to keep showing up. But I guess if you're really desperate for a job, I guess you probably will still. It's just crazy that they even have something ridiculous like that. And so yeah, the more people who are looking for work because they've been displaced from another job, the more competitive it is. And these people are going to be like, we want to have someone who we feel is going to be more flexible. And that a lot of times turns into be someone who's a younger individual. Another one, they say managerial redundancy in flattened organizations post-recession. Yeah, so they're just going to assume that someone older is going to want more of a managerial position or is going to more gravitate to that type of position because a lot of times, especially if you've been in a specific field, you probably ain't really interested in somebody else that just started last year telling you what to do and you've been doing it for like the last 7-8 years. So, I mean, go figure. But, I mean, I guess that's part of us not being flexible. But I mean, a lot of us are old. We're older. We're wise. We know how to move with the situation. We just know that when you get older, you just know when things are ridiculous. You just don't want to participate or be a part of it anymore because you just know that it's dumb. I'm trying to see if there's another topic that I thought was really important here. So I think what I want to do is just kind of give some encouragement. And that encouragement is to remain confident in who you are as an older professional. Remain confident in your ability to actually to contribute to society. You're not a throwaway. You are still important. Your skills and what you've contributed is still super important. I would even say consider right now, while you still have a job, consider focusing really hard on networking and finding other ways to use your skills outside of just your main job, like maybe some sort of consulting mentorship program. If you can provide something like that, that way, even if you lose your current job, people still know that you have skills and things to offer that you can profit off of. I was thinking of another word, but something that you can still use to your benefit to bring income into your house. And so that's one of the things that I think about. And I think it can be really important for older professionals. Like, we can be literally priceless in that way because we have a wealth of knowledge that a little YouTube course online can't, or a website, it just cannot be a supplement or a substitute. That's what I'm trying to say. It can't be a substitute for that. So know that you have something to contribute. Market yourself with that. Package that up. Make it that a package deal that you walk around with this thing on. If you're not active on LinkedIn, you don't have to be on there posting and getting involved in the little crazy stuff that's on LinkedIn, but definitely make your account strong. So you highlight your current skills and things that you're working on. Also, definitely don't be afraid to try to get training in other areas or training into strengthening the things that you currently have. And just things like that. Maybe even if you're able to, you can also create a YouTube channel like I have done. Start talking to people about things that you're very, very skilled in And you could even possibly do consulting work. Please don't do none of the little trash ones that's out there, but create a course. And that's another way that you can create income for yourself. And just know that this is not the end of the road. It's sketchy. It's scary. I strongly believe that we are in an economic downturn, and I strongly believe that we all, especially as older individuals, need to get really serious about looking out for ourselves, being proactive with the current situation, because we're on the losing end of the deal. And I've seen that repeatedly, and it really concerns me. Because I know that people in my age group, we have a lot to offer, and I think it'll be tragic for us to get tossed away because everyone thinks AI is the new greatest and best thing. And in some respects, it is pretty awesome, but we all still need jobs. So anyway, y'all, I think I have so much more to say about this, but I think I just want to stop here. So y'all let me know down in the comment section, what is some ideas that you've come up with on how to reskill yourself? I did put out a poll about different AI programs that you might be interested in learning. You all can let me know down in the comment section what different AI programs you are, because I'm learning this stuff too, and I don't mind. I think it would be really awesome if I came on here and kind of showed you all what I'm learning with different AI programs or apps, whatever the hell they're called, AI apps. Just go through and learn some things together, kind of get the taboo-ness out of it. Just get into it and figure it out. We don't have to be perfect with it. So anyway, y'all, I love you guys. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.